Good morning, you handsome lot, and it is hump day. If you don't know what hump day is, it is a Wednesday. Now, we have got a Transporter T5, and we're going to be replacing the driver's side rear wheel bearing because it is very noisy. Now, this vehicle has been on my channel before for a dry shaft repair on the gearbox, if you remember, and this is one super cool Transporter. I ain't gonna lie, it is super cool. Now, of course, because I've worked on this vehicle before and I did a dry shaft oil leak on it, I'm going to be checking it because this vehicle has done lots and lots and lots of miles since I have worked on it, and that is absolutely perfect. It did need a dry shaft and also the shaft that wears in the gearbox as well. Just to confirm that it is this driver's side rear wheel bearing, we're going to give it a big shake. There's no play up and down, side to side. Now, I don't think my microphone's going to pick it up, but I'm going to give it a spin without catching my face. Did you hear it? Now let's get involved. Let's get these wheels off, and if you have a little look, it has got my little send it symbol. Brilliant. And the little bullet caps. They're cool. They're cool. I tell you what, there's a lot of little details gone into this van. And they're cool. Just shotgun cartridges cut down. Okay, brilliant. Now, with that driver's side rear wheel off, we do need to remove the brake discs and the brake caliper carrier. Pull the carrier, the caliper, round over, make sure it's not dangling. 2 bolts at the back. Pull the carrier off, and then we can get the disc off. Because these bearings, they are pressed in. You do need a special tool. With everything stripped down, we can now go ahead and remove this bearing. Now, it is called a Gen 2 bearing, and there is a pulling tool. And this tool does double up as a puller outerer and the pusher innerer. Are they 2 new words that we've made up? I don't know. We do need to get them set up, and there is 2 different sizes as well. So I'm going to get this set up and I'm going to show you. I tell a little porky there's more than 2 sizes. We've got 82, 78, 85, 72, 66, 62. Lots and lots and lots of different sizes. Now, I'm lucky enough and I'm fortunate enough to be friendly with local garages around the area. Now, I don't own these tools, unfortunately, so I've had to pop out and borrow them. And I like it that everybody works like that together, because even though we're all local, we all need to help each other out. And we do. There's no 2 ways about it, because it would cost far too much money to own all these tools. Now, there is stuff that I've got that they borrow and they borrow, and vice versa. It's brilliant. It's brilliant. Teamwork makes the dream work. Right, now this tool, the black colouring is for removal, and the silver is for the insertion. And we need the 85 with the little dimples cut out, because it does match up with a little dimple on the hub itself. How the tool works, it goes round the bearing at the back of the drive flange, and it just cups over, and it pulls it out with a big bar and another little tool that we need to couple it up to. And the same applies, so when you insert it, pop it out of the way, 85, that goes on. And the design of it, see this little spring clip here? That tool cups round there and pushes that spring clip into the hub, which I will show you in a couple of seconds. Now, with the removal tool all set up now, you've got little legs that you push through into that plate. And you need to grab another little plate that fits around the back and cups over the bearing, like so. But you've got to be careful, because around the back here, the ABS sensor's there. You can take it out, but chances are, you take it out, you're probably going to damage it. But if you're careful enough, you won't with this. Right, now with that tool all set up, the shaft that goes straight the way through, make sure that you always keep it lubricated with a little bit of engine oil, because it will help you and it will save those threads. Now, I have already broken the wheel bearing. I'm just removing it, and work it very gently. Do not ever use an impact gun, because you will damage this tool. Keep working, keep working. And then it will. I don't know whether you can see it coming out. Come on. And there we go, that. There's my ratchet gun. And that is one wheel bearing removed. That is probably the easiest part of getting the bearing out. Now the hardest part is making sure that this surface here is absolutely spotless, because if it isn't, that bearing can go on the wonk and it can make an absolute mess of this. Now there is a little groove where that clip sits in there. So we've got to get this absolutely spotless. And I'm going to be doing it is just with a little bit of a wire brush and a bit of a scraper. Like I've just said, cleaning these parts is going to help this job go nice and smoothly. And as you can see, that now is pretty much, and I've also cleaned the edge around here as well for where the tool's going to slide. Everything's got to be clean, everything. Let's move around now to installing the installation tool on the bearing itself. Now it has, you've got to be careful that you don't damage that spring clip there. Now what I've done is put a little green line on either side of the tool, because it does match up with them little dimples there. Now it is easier when you can look at, say, faffing about it, if that makes sense. Right, let's get this bearing pressed into there. Right, now the installation side of it, it is a little bit of a different setup. There is a tool that goes around the back and it does slide in pretty much like that. Now I have got to still do a little bit of cleaning. You've got to make sure that in the back there, that is clean as well, because if it isn't pulling flush, you will make a mess, That has got to be flush. Now don't get me wrong, all the cleaning and stuff, it does take time, but it's going to make it worthwhile when it is all spotless and everything's just sliding together nice and easy. And all I'm using is a little battery drill with a wire brush on the end. You can clean the back side of it. Well, the brush is falling off. There you go, it's back on. You can clean it from the front. Take 5 minutes, 20 minutes, take 25 minutes, take as long as you want, as long as it's nice and clean. That hub now is absolutely spotless. And this tool, you can see how it's tapered. This taper end goes towards the ABS sensor. And it slots in and out now beautifully. Before we go ahead and press this wheel bearing in, get yourself a little oil can. Put some oil in there and just rub it round with your finger, make sure that there's no sharp edges. Engine oil is going to be your best friend whenever you're pressing a bearing in. I can't pump, oh, hang on. Let's get this wheel bearing out in this hub. Now it is a little bit of a two-man job. Now I have got Ben. Come and hold this for me, Ben. Hold it there, do you know what you're doing?
Holding it there.
Good lad, good lad. Now we can get the spindle. Put the spindle through, and the back side of it should just go and screw in. And while you're winding it up by hand, you should see it pulling in nice and square. All right, let it go, Ben. Let it go. It's not going to fall off now. Now, can you see a couple of minutes ago where I marked this insulation tool? And it's got to line up with that there. Just makes it a little bit easier rather than trying to look from behind here and faffing about. Anyway, let's get it pressed in. Now, when you're pressing these bearings in, if it stops, or it looks as if it's going in on the wonk, do not go any further. You keep wanging it in. Until stop. Christ, I'm out of breath. Knackered, I'm not used to this bloody physical exercise. Coming to the stop now. And that is one bearing pressed in. Once that bearing is pressed in, you've removed all the tools, and make sure that you put everything back, because these tools are expensive, especially when they're not yours, because if they go back and they're missing, you're going to get a bill for replacement parts. Now, the little circlip, which is on the back, That one there. Have a little look at the bearing and make sure that it is all sat in perfect all the way around, because I have seen them and I have done them myself, I'm not going to lie, where they haven't gone all the way in and they're just sitting out. So please double check them. These bearings are not that bad to do, to be honest with you. It's quite a simple design. It's just unfortunate that the tools are fairly expensive to replace them. But with that now in, perfect, I'm going to get the brakes back together and put it into a little bit of a time lapse. As you've just seen, that car isn't, well, van should I say, is all back together. And don't forget, whenever you're fitting a Schaeffler FAG part, do not forget to scan the box, because you do and you can collect points. And I have just collected 150. I've now got 22,000 points and 900. Probably get me a pen. Just like that, that vehicle is now back on the deck and the wheel is nice and torqued. Now this van, I do like it. It's a proper trick. Okay. It's even got, where's it gone? One of my little stickers. Whee! But no, honestly, fair credit to the owner. He spent a lot of time and a lot of effort going into this van. It is super cool. Super cool. Right, should we take it down the road for a little bit of a test drive? Now always remember, whenever you've had all your rear brakes passed when you're doing bearings and stuff, always pump the pedal. Let's wait for this car to pull in and we'll get up to speed a little bit. I tell you what, it is a cool van, this. I do like it. Yeah, we'll go around some corners now. 30, 35 mile an hour, 40-ish sort of thing. And the van is, it's quiet as a mouse. And the customer was complaining, he was like, oh, Baz. He said, when I was up in Scotland, he said the bearing was noisy. So yeah, it's gonna be like a brand new van for him, this, I think. We are now back from the test drive and the van drives absolutely perfect. There's not a rumble out of it. I'm sure the customer's gonna be very happy, very happy. But again, if you have liked the video, please click that like and subscribe. We will see you on the next one. Let's get it sent.